Brett Sockold here, helping you make every class Catholic. I'm here at St. Thomas Aquinas Roman Catholic Schools in Leduc, Alberta, and I got to do something today I haven't done before. I spent a whole day with math and physics teachers looking at integrating Catholic faith into their curricula in math and physics. And this is a particularly challenging set of disciplines in which to integrate Catholic faith. And I wanted to share something that happened today that it was an exciting idea for me to encounter. There's a general idea that I've encountered more than once working with teachers, and I've started calling it a pilot unit. So the first unit you teach in a semester of computer science or Spanish or math, you might not dive right into the content that's specific to that discipline, but you might zoom out a little and ask bigger picture questions, right? Instead of like, how do you do this or how does this work? You ask questions like, what does this mean and why does it matter, right? And so I propose that to the math teachers here today. Let's think about a pilot unit we could do at the beginning of our math class, and what would that look like? And someone was familiar with a video by Francis Sue, and I'll find that and post it below. So Francis Sue is an evangelical mathematician who's thought about these things in ways that are very helpful for those of us who are trying to integrate faith in our math classes. He wrote a book called Math for Human Flourishing. And his approach to math is not, math is good because it has certain economic value. You can get jobs with it and do certain kinds of things. But he talks about how it responds to needs of the human person for truth and for meaning and that sort of thing, right? So, okay, so we've got our hook, right? We've got this Francis Sue video that we're going to show and use to lead discussion with our students. But some other interesting ideas sort of emerged that would shape it. So one was, students will often ask you, why should I study math? And we thought, well, it might be interesting to flip the script on them, right? That you could start the first class of the semester, with this question, why should you study math? And see what kind of answers the students give for why they should study math. Now, it's quite likely in many cases that the answers that they're going to give you are largely economic in nature, right? You need these certain kind of skills for doing certain kinds of work. And then, of course, the rebuttal is natural, right? Well, if I'm not going to work in those fields, well, why does it matter to me? And maybe there's certain practical applications you need in life, like understanding your mortgage and your credit card statement, but that's not super advanced math, right? So the unsatisfactory nature of a lot of their answers is probably going to be apparent to them, and they might even find it a little frustrating. And then you can watch the Francis Sue video, which frames it not just different answers to the question, but even different kinds of answers, right? To show them that there are answers to this question that are not economic or market-driven, but that are much more humane, and open their imagination to that, and then follow through with a sort of open-ended conversation from that. So that was the first step. We thought, well, maybe we can frame a lesson around this question, why should I study math? And do it in 2 stages and introduce this video partway through and see how that works. And then we had this other idea, which was maybe you don't do it on the very first day. Maybe you teach your first unit on, absolute values or whatever the first unit is in your math class. You teach the first unit, and on the exam at the end of the unit, you have a bonus question at the end of the exam. And the bonus question is, so what? You just showed me that you can do this math, right? Or the degree to which you can or can't do this math, you've shown me. But who cares? Why does this matter, right? So at the end of the math exam, there's this question for bonus marks, so what? And the teachers thought that might stir things up, right? That might generate some conversation in the hallways and leave the students sitting. You give them, 15, 16 hours, 23 hours before their next math class to sit with this question, so what? Why is my teacher asking me so what? And then at the beginning of your second unit, you do this lesson where you ask the question, why should I study math, and see what kind of answers they give you, and maybe watch this video from Francis Sue and have the conversation after that. But with the plant from the day before, you sort of primed the pump for them to be thinking about bigger picture questions, and maybe got them a little curious